Happy Hunger Games. Wait. No, happy 4th of July. Happy birthday. America is 250 years old. Hello, my name is Okasa, and today I will be discussing Hunger Games and America and I guess symbolism. We'll see. So, the inspiration for this video is the fact that we just finished a Pluto return and now we're having some type of Uranus return. So, I technically don't know those outer planets like that, but obviously something is up. That Wombo combo right there, that's alien. That Wombo combo over there is also vampiric, but I don't know how to explain it. I've even heard some people say that even every empire has never lasted more than 250 years. Like we are somewhere. And I think specifically how it has to do with the Pluto return. Pluto is connected to death. And fundamentally, when it comes to death, it's not like a definitive everything ends. It's more so that everything changes, that what it was is never going to be again. Like this empire, this version of America will never exist again. I'm also one of those people who believes life imitates art, or like art also imitates life. Like it's a mirror, right? So one looks like the other and the other one looks like the other, and they all exist in their own little finite type of identity or existence. But really it's more so also how like the past reflects the future, reflects the present, which is their future, which that means that our future will reflect our past. So if you don't like how the mirror is looking, like you have to do some fundamental shifts, deaths and rebirths, so that you can have the future that you want. But really, no, I will have to say we have a Patriot game. Like we're having the first Patriot game that was planned today. Like we're choosing the first kids, and it literally reflects the first reaping, which apparently canonically the first reaping was today, 4th of July today. Like stuff like that, it almost puts me into psychosis. I think the only example that I have besides that is also Fallout, because when I watched Fallout, for whatever reason, our relationship with China was escalating. I was like, the Sino-American War. Oh, it's gonna happen. Oh no, like we're gonna get bombed into like an ice age. The thing that I think about is how we started as 13 colonies, and 13 is literally a bad luck number. Like no one ever brings that up. 13 is a bad luck number. And I don't know how I'm ever going to configure my words to make it snippy and cute, but like how lucky are we that this nation started with 13? And I will say the theory on why 13 is unlucky, I mean, there's many reasons, but my sibling actually put me onto an idea where 12 is it's a biblical number, like it's a godly number. And I think maybe what makes 13 unlucky is that it's trying to one up God with the 13. Then another thing that I'm also thinking about is that apparently canonically Panem, no, the capital is in Utah. And literally every conspiracy goes back to Utah. The Mormons cannot be trusted. But also, I will say, the Mormons is like the most American religion. Another thing, the inspiration for Hunger Games, how Suzanne Collins, she said that she was flipping through coverage of the Iraq War and then also reality TV. And then those images started to like merge together, reflects our history with Vietnam, like Vietnam coverage, and then also the TV show Black Mirror. At the end of my U.S. history course, they had us look at different memorials and talk about how the color, the structure, and the placements of these memorials were significant, like how they add to the message that it's trying to convey. The Vietnam Memorial is literally reflective and it's dark. Why? Because it's a dark part of history, and we literally have to look at it as a mirror to self as a nation, like a black mirror. Also, the Vietnam War was one of the first wars, if not the first war, that we had television coverage as a nation. I think it was called, either the TV war or the living room war, because people were watching what was happening in their living rooms. They got to see every dark, twisted, nasty detail that goes into war. Surprising enough, this also reminds me of another Lionsgate movie that came out this year, I'm pretty sure. Was it this year or was it last year? Called The Long Walk, which was inspired by the Vietnam War, which is more so like how this is the part of the Vietnam War that I think sometimes we also need to like remember. They were literally sending off children to that war, like freshly 18. Those were kids. It was a child sacrifice to some extent. And I will also say the fact that we were watching it, getting accustomed to watching people go off and do atrocities, children doing atrocities, did desensitize us as a nation. And in a lot of ways, conversations about Hunger Games is about, it's really weird to trust the same industry that this TV show, this book, or like this media is trying to critique, right? And like you put it in the hands of the same industry, and then they sort of kind of warp the message where no one is taking it seriously, because part of the fandom conversation is who would have died at this one? What would they look like? What outfit should they wear? And it's very capitalistic. It's very capital ideology, like how the capital people would see the Hunger Games. It's desensitized. On the topic of child sacrifices, I would say watch this video because it sort of like brushes on like the ideas that I'm trying to talk about when it comes to capitalism. Also, its connections to Saturn motifs, because Saturn, Kronos, he ate those kids, he ate his babies, right? Consuming babies, cannibalistic, and capitalism is very cannibalistic. It's more so a conversation about how the system, quote unquote, the system rewards consumption, mindless consumption on TikTok. Like right now, like part of how you can get your videos out is if you can get people to sit here and then spend their time and their attention, and then they go to TikTok shop and they buy something. You get rewarded for them putting their time and their energy, but then also their money into this app, into any app. And when I said Chronos, time, attention economy. And another Saturn motif that I have picked up on is also Star Wars, because that's another like dystopian media. And I was watching, I think, New Rockstar, I forgot what video it was, but they kept talking about how one of the motifs is choking. Now, choking is technically the opposite, because no, choking can also be an eating or a consumption motif, because you eat so fast, you literally lodge massive like lumps of stuff inside of you until you get clogged up. You can't breathe because you're choking. But then the other motif was more so how like they're restricting your airway. It still has to do with like our passage between consumption or like breathing and our digestive system. Like if you block that area, you can't live. Lastly, I think this also has to do with my video that I need to do about blue, gray, black, and purple. These colors are synonyms, sort of they're not synonyms, but they are often substitutes for each other. I made a video that was actually inspired by the fact that Katniss has gray eyes. I'm pretty sure she has gray eyes, or at least they call her gray eyes in the book. I actually have not read this book in a while, but it made me go through a whole like tirade about like, hey, like color is a matter of social construct. What we call a certain color is based on what society's calling that color, but also how gray is a color of conformity. I think Saturn is the sign of conformity, cannibalism, conformity, uniformity. The color gray is uniformity. Sorry, not cannibalism. Conformity and uniformity, but also birds. Like I had a video about, I think, aliens, and then I realized I need to make a video about the color blue, and this is not going to be the video, but I do need to make a video about the color blue because I'm thinking about crows and ravens and how they are black, but they have like that translucent blue color, and blue is often connected to the sky. It has connections to water. But I also think about like in America, we are a two-party state. We have blue versus red. We have coin versus snow. We have the Democrats versus Republican. We have left versus right. But left wing, right wing, it's still the same bird. So in a lot of ways, it's like we also have red birds. Red can be a color that we discuss when it comes to birds. But in a lot of ways, Mockingjay-wise, these are blue motifs. And I'll get to it one day. I don't know. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.